Welcome to Women Awakening. I'm Cynthia James, and this network is about changing lives one woman at a time. Welcome to Women Awakening. As you can see, the beautiful Arielle Fort is here with me because it's Love Expert Day, and I am so happy that she's here. For those of you who don't know her, she's written 11 books. She's spoken all over the world. She's coached people, and she is an expert on love and creating your soulmate and bringing more love into the planet. And thank you for being here, Arielle.
Oh, thanks. I love being with you, Cynthia.
So what we're going to talk about today is what is a soulmate? So let's talk about, people say, I want my soulmate, it's like, what is that?
It's very confusing. So here's my definition. I believe that a soulmate is first and foremost somebody you can completely be yourself with, somebody with whom you share unconditional love, and when you look into their eyes, you have the feeling of being home. Mm-hmm. And if you accept that definition, then the super duper good news is you already have a ton of soulmates. It could be your parents, your kids, your siblings, your coworkers, your neighbors, your cats, your dogs. They all fit into that. And the fastest way to manifest a romantic soulmate is to start putting your attention on all the love you already have. So don't be living your life like somebody's missing. Or that you're alone. You're not alone. We all have lots and lots of soulmates. Now, people always ask me, do I get to have more than one romantic soulmate in a lifetime? Because there's this big fat lie out there that says we each only get one big love in a lifetime. It's so not true. In fact, John Gray, who wrote Men Are From Mars, he estimates that we each have about 200,000 potential soulmates. That's a lot. And a good statistic to remember is that right now on planet Earth, there are 7.3 billion people here on the planet. More than half of them are single. You only need one. Okay? So all the odds are in your favor. And you could have had a soulmate, and sometimes they come with an expiration date. Sometimes it doesn't last forever. Doesn't mean they weren't your soulmate. There are more soulmates. So here's what you need to remember. Just like you have enough clean air to breathe and fresh water to drink, there's no shortage of love for you on the planet. Okay, got that?
Love
you got
it.
Plenty of air, plenty of water, plenty of love.
Love that. Well, and here's the other thing too. It's like, for me, I know, first of all, I want to say two things. One is I love the soulmate expiration date, because I believe that I was in relationship with people that were my soulmate. They were my great teachers. They were people that were called in to help me heal and transform. But the relationship I'd been in for 23 years, was a whole nother level of soulmate because of where I was in my consciousness. Right. And where so I want to talk about, can you be your own soulmate first before you attract the one in?
I think that's true. The distinction I would have, though, is there's so many people thinking that they can't have big love until they're madly in love with themselves. And I don't believe that, okay? Because what I discovered was that, yes, now I wasn't this self-loathing, self-hating person. I'd done my deep work. I'd gone to therapy. I'd done workshops. I loved myself more than I did previously. But I certainly wasn't madly in love with myself when I manifested Brian. But what happened was when I could look into his eyes and see how much love he had for me, that was the most deeply healing thing that ever happened to me. The more that I had this level of love in my life, the more I loved myself. So for anybody out there who's thinking, well, I'm not ready yet for soulmate love. I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm too damaged, I don't love myself enough. That's all horseshit, okay? It's not true. It's not true. You're deserving of love right now. And you're never going to be perfect ever. Okay, you're just not. I'm sorry. You're not going to be perfect and they're not going to be perfect, but you're going to learn to love each other's imperfections. The whole point of life, I believe, is all about love. Okay, I think that's why we're here. And that means we need to learn how to love imperfect people perfectly, including ourselves.
So tell me a couple of things you did to get ready for your soulmate to come in. What were a couple of things you personally did?
Yeah, there were a few. I mean, I wrote in this my book, The Soulmate Secret, I give the whole step-by-step instruction on all the law of attraction stuff I did to manifest Brian. But really the first thing was making the decision, making the commitment, and telling the universe, I am now ready right now to manifest the love of my life. And there were things that could have stopped me. For instance, I'd been to see a psychic who told me that my soulmate was out there, but that he was already married. Okay. I had an astrologer tell me that I wasn't in my season of love and that love wasn't possible. And there was a Newsweek cover story that said women over 40 had a better chance of being killed by a terrorist than finding love. All of this happened within like a 3-week period. So I could have let that stop me. That could have been my excuse. But I desired that my free will was stronger than a terrorist, stronger than an astrologer, stronger than a psychic. And that what I most desired, what my soul was calling for, was to manifest this big dream that I had for love. So I know that that's possible, and I wouldn't let anybody get in your way.
Right. So, but what I wanted to say was that I didn't know what healthy relationship looked like, and in the real love section when you talked about feeling, that's what I thought it was a feeling, and so opening myself to be able to experience love at a different level with a soulmate that could see me and
Right.
be with me and love me, was huge. And I stumbled. And I don't know about you. I think you talked a little bit about it in the real love. It's like that it wasn't so easy to kind of dive deep into that relationship with the soulmate. Yeah.
No, I mean, because it just kicked up all kinds of shit, really. Like Harville Hendrix says that the true purpose of marriage is to bring up anything unlike itself and to heal the wounds from your early childhood caregivers.
Mm.
And that certainly was my experience. I was having these experiences where it's like, God, I feel just like I used to feel with my dad, and I thought I'd worked on that. But then, like the onion, there was this whole new layer to deal with. The other thing that I was not good at, and I still struggle with, is I was not really good with vulnerability. I grew up where being right was the most honored thing you can do in our world. You had to be smart and you had to be right, which meant you couldn't admit to, having any feelings of insecurity or less than. You could have them, but you couldn't talk about them.
Right.
So, learning how to express what was true for me as opposed to my way of being, which was to be passive aggressive. I'm not going to tell you how I'm feeling, but boy, you're not getting anything from me and I hate your guts kind of stuff. So it was a long, slow growth process. But, the longer I was in it with Brian and the more that I could trust how he would show up and that he wasn't my father and he wasn't being sarcastic and he really did love me and he really did want to hear me, it just became a process. And, now that we're 20 years into it, it's very rare. I mean, there are occasions where we annoy each other, but it goes away pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So ladies, what I want you to know is that Arielle has an amazing website, soulmatesecret.com. Arielle, tell us what's on there and how they can get supported if they're looking for their soulmate.
Yeah, well, there's a section, a little tab at the top called Free Stuff, and there's lots of goodies there, including feelingization. So people know the word visualization, but I have changed the word because visualizations, I don't believe, work. What happens is visualizations are pretty pictures in your head. oh, I want a new blue convertible BMW. I see myself driving down the freeway in this beautiful car. I can smell the leather seats. But if your internal feeling is, I can't afford it, I don't deserve it, it's never going to happen, you can have pretty pictures all day long. You are not getting that car.
That's right.
And it's the same thing with love. You know, if you're having the thoughts, oh, I see myself walking down the aisle, but your internal conversation is, I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm too damaged, all the good ones are taken, whatever, it's not going to happen. So in a feelingization, it's just this great little process where I drop you from your head to your heart. We do a beginning phase. It's a heart math, heart lock-in. We remember and re-experience feelings of love and appreciation and gratitude. And once we're into this zone, or what they call heart coherence, then we drop in the feelings of having this level of love in our life, or whatever it is you want to manifest. But I believe true manifestation comes from the heart, not from the head. And so there's dozens of these free feelingizations at soulmatesecret.com under the free stuff tab.
Well, ladies, I'm hoping that you are already clicking on stuff as soon as this is over, because um, we want tools. We want to be able to access the heart, to open to the level of love that we're here to bring and to deliver. And Arielle, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to our
Me
next
too.
times together. And you are such a gift, and I'm grateful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And ladies, what I want to say to you is stay awake. You know, you are here to deliver your gifts and your wisdom, your light and your love. The world is waiting for you. We'll talk to you soon.